So my company is Hue Noir Cosmetics, as you said. We specialize in cosmetics that are driven by science and technology to produce particularly color cosmetics that work across all skin tones. That has always been a real challenge in the beauty industry. The chemistry is a little bit more complicated. It takes a little longer to develop those sorts of products that are going to work across the various spectrum. Many companies struggle to get skin tone accuracy in their products. And so we incorporate the use of everything from spectrophotometers, which do color readings, knowledge on just overall skincare, product ingredients, and blending all that to produce products that work across the spectrum. So I started to get honestly rumblings about COVID, and it sent up a little bit of a warning signal, believe it or not, in January. The reason being is that we do drop shipping for Costco, and I believe many of their retailers, other drop shippers, were starting, their supply chains were starting to face some serious obstacles. Fortunately, we make a lot of our products here. So when they started to send out messages about supply chain interruptions, um, asking for updated inventories and supply and 90 days out and all these things that they don't normally ask for, it was really a red flag for me. A lot of that was because of what was going on overseas, and so many companies were sourcing materials, components, and even their products from overseas. So it just put a little caution flag in the back of my head, to be honest with you. um, as we get into February, this thing is starting to look really serious. And I'm just looking at the landscape, and I'm also seeing just overall our sales going way down, just a significant dip. And I said, uh-oh, okay, something really is going on here, and I've got to figure out what we're going to do. So by the time we get to mid-February, not only am I watching the business and trying to figure out what I'm going to do and seeing things stall, um, I'm also sending two kids off to school, and I'm hearing these stories about COVID online. I have a biology background. I've taken enough microbiology to know that this kind of stuff I don't mess with. So I'm asking my kids questions about whether or not they have hand sanitizer in their backpack, what they're doing on the buses to keep them clean, what's going on in the schools. And I kept getting shrugs of their shoulders, and they never had hand sanitizer. I was going to the store to try to buy it. I couldn't find it. But fortunately, I have a facility here, and I've got all the products and all the ingredients I need to make it. I'm a chemist at heart. So I started by just making it for my kids to get us through, what I was hearing about COVID. So that was February for me. Hand sanitizer sales have really sustained us. They've been steady. Market of Choice now carries it in all of their store locations. Talking about local places, Tender Loving Empire carries it. Um, Gosh, there's at least one other store that this name escapes me right now that's carrying it. I have been doing a lot of direct to consumer, and now makeup is starting to kind of come back around. I think as people started to get into summer, they were looking for just a little bit more flair and fun. And so I started to see makeup come back around a little bit, and we're getting ready for a couple of launches. So I'm now working to try to balance the two to, prepare for what's next on the makeup side, because makeup will come back. Inevitably, makeup will come back. It's a very emotional product that evokes emotions. And I really believe, and I've talked to enough experts in the industry to know that as we start to come out of this, people are going to be looking to express themselves more. They're going to be going out more. They're going to go to events. So makeup will come back. The future of makeup is going to be interesting, because I think that there's just more emphasis on innovations in makeup at this point. So we are actively working on that. And so I'm doing that while trying to balance sanitizer sales, because that's not going anywhere for us. That actually opened a door to another area of personal care product development that I've always wanted to get into. It was about a year and a half earlier than I really wanted it. But one of the other things it did for us is that it allowed me to expand our FDA registrations beyond cosmetics. I can now make everything from cosmetics up to over-the-counter drugs. And the benefit of that to me is it really allows me to play in the area of makeup around hybrid products that I've always wanted to do. Products that can both treat as well as freshen, if you will. So now we're beginning to play around in that innovative space. And I've also had some time during this whole pandemic to sit back and do more research. And I see a real big opportunity given where we're at right now to do work between genomics and beauty industry. There now is a lot of study around genetics and skin and various stages of the aging process and how that can play an integral role in both ingredient selection as well as customer prescription, if you will. And so we're beginning to play in some of that space too. So it's an interesting place to be right now.